Alright everybody, here we are. Finally this network issue has been resolved and let's just simply get started. Is it still live? Didn't expect this thing. Let's see. Alrighty, everything's up and running and let's just simply go on. So I added these features in here. So ultimately whenever you click on any shape or tool, so you get these many features in here. So already I had less, right now I have more. And just one more thing here, that instead of having this 42 in here, I can have it just beside that, so that it doesn't take this much space. Yeah, let me make it better. Making it better in the sense, let's go to the slider and I'll not have 0 here first of all, and this value is just gonna be there, and this is gonna be above this, and once it is there, so just a sec, we have this item wrapper, and this wrapper has a title there, and then we have children there, in children almost everything comes, right? So that is fine. In that case, the way I had it written, that's good as well. Okay. What we can do in here, that is, this padding top is gonna be 3. Why is not gonna be that much? So at least this weight is gonna be a bit better. Alrighty, not that bad at all. Okay, so going ahead, these many features we have, and now we have to just simply make them functional, and this is how the things are gonna be going on. As for right now, we can just simply select any color and we can draw whatever we want. Again, if we want to write, we can write the same way, and it's gonna be just working great. So it just simply goes on like this. Again, over here we have some kind of issue, that is the line height is actually quite increasing a lot, and it's good if it is increasing. It's just about the, we need to have some padding from the top as well, so the text should be somewhere in the middle, so that is something we have to focus on. And we have text align. I'm not sure whether text align is supported. Let me see. Text align in Canvas HTML. Text align property. I think it is supported. Oh yeah, it is supported, and everything starts from the baseline. So whenever we are adding a text, so ultimately if text is start, that will be actually on the left side, just the opposite way it actually works. So we'll have to we have to just simply set it. It can be start, it can be when it comes to text align, so can be center, even we can have left, so left and start, and center right. So at the end of the day, if I actually come here, so we have left, we have middle, we have left, center and right, on the basis of this thing it is gonna be done. But even before that, it has some extra height, but that height has been calculated by the font size and all. So what is actually happening in Excalidraw. So if we write something, the text is actually in the middle and there's no extra height. That simply means there's problem in our logic, the way we are calculating the stuff. So height is just being increased a bit. There's a problem there. Let's see. So whenever we are drawing the text, this is a line height multiplier. We have 1.2 and the font size. So 1. That much it should be anyway. And okay, later we'll see. This is not something. This is not the primary thing right now. So even if there is a, whenever we just try to edit it, there is a little offset there we just get. So we are gonna be fixing it later on. As for right now, there should be some. We can do one thing. Let me see if it can be helpful. That is, whenever we try to add something along the baseline, so we have text align, right? And there was another thing, baseline or something. Text baseline canvas HTML baseline property. So it sets it like this. So if I'm writing something, so I said baseline. What have I said the baseline? CTX baseline, that is top. That is why it comes somewhere here below. And below, in the sense below the baseline. That's the only thing we can have it in here. Yeah. If I just simply remove it, it will be even worse, because by default let it be like that. The second thing is that we can work on this particular feature as well, the font size and all. For the, so we can have a small font size, medium, large, extra large. The font sizes for a text. Okay, that is good. These types of font colors we can have. But again, I will have to see what is the font size used by 1, 2, come on, 3 and 4. I think there are 4 font sizes. The first one is gonna be small, second one is gonna be medium, third one is gonna be large, and one more is gonna be extra large. As simple as that. Now I'd like to see it. So let's go here, Excalidraw. The first one has font size, the first one has 16, second one, first one has 16, right? Yeah, font size 16, ignore the font family. Second one has 20, so 16, 20, that is okay. Third one has 28, and fourth one has 36. So this is how it just simply goes on. So we have 16, we have 20, we have 28, we have 36. Font size 36. Forget about this one. Font size 28, 20 and 16. Okay, so these are the font sizes that we have by default, and it's time to just simply make it functional. I can delete this particular part as well. So this is the important stuff here. Okay, once this particular thing is done, how we can implement it here in our case? We can delete all these things, and when I click on the text, I should be able to select the font size, and as per that thing, it should just simply go on. So when I clicked select a font size, yeah, so even to make it visible, just a minute, it hasn't been implemented at all. So let's go to the font size section right now. Probably we'll try to get it done soon by copying and pasting the steps, but let's see. So this is the font tool section, and we are working on font size picker. So overall font size picker looks like this. The first one is actually gonna be 18, 20, 24, 26. What we want, the first one should be 16, second one 20, fine, it should be 28 too, and it should be 36. That's gonna be the extra large. And this particular thing I don't really wanna have it here. We'll pass it, no problem, but this is how we'll have it. And apart from this particular thing, we are gonna be getting the font size directly from font size from the Zoo Stand store. We are gonna be getting, so that's gonna be use font size. So we got the font size, and as we got the font size, so when we are actually sending this, instead of naming it style, it should actually be font sizes, and this is actually gonna be size that I'm actually gonna get here. Having said that, I'd rather pass the index in here, and this whole thing needs to be indexed. I mean, it depends on exactly what you wanna pass. And as for the active, so we have the font size. So active is gonna be equals to if size dot font size, if that's triple equals to what, main font size. The only problem is that it does not, it has the value size dot value if it's triple equals to that, and of course we have to destructure it. So this is how it's gonna be going on. Data, we are passing it, we have the value, we have the icon. What is the problem? Label is required. So icon is like this, label. Okay, let's have the label as well. Hopefully labels are here too. So clicking on this, small, medium, large and extra large. These labels at the end I'm gonna be making them visible there as well. This is gonna be small, so second one is gonna be medium, third one is gonna be large, and fourth one gonna be extra large. How does it look like? Okay, so this way we are gonna be going ahead, and we need to have a function as well. So const handle font size change click, and ultimately what will happen, this will just get nothing but the font size. Once it gets the font size, that's gonna be nothing but a number. It's just simply gonna be set font size. We have to ultimately just have a set font size, not directly. Why not directly? Because after setting the font size, we even have to re-render that, right? So, and we are re-rendering it manually, hence we have to create functions for it, so that can be done. And I'm gonna be passing this in here. Once I'm actually passing this in here, on click, what is the problem? This is actually gonna be the data, and the data will have any type, if I'm not wrong. I don't know what kind of it will have a property. What type of data? I created a type for it earlier. It was properties data type, if we are actually passing the data. So yeah, let's overall the data is gonna be like this. So I was working on what font sizes, right? Font size picker, properties, data type, and this should be fine. And once I pass it in here, that function is just going to be called with the data that we actually pass here. And when it comes to data, so we are passing this. That simply means I'm gonna be getting data, and then we have to save the data dot value. If I'm not wrong, we'll see data dot value is the font size, so we'll have to just simply save it there. And overall things are working. Let's go to the hook right now. Hooks appearance, and of course this. And over here I have to create one more, and that's gonna be another function. Set font size. This should be enough. I'm gonna be getting font size, that's gonna be a number. And having said that, yeah, number. And now we have to just simply set it. So let's get the font size setter as well. So font set font size property, or set property font size, that will be also good. Property, let's follow the theme. So property font size, use set font size, we are gonna be setting it in here. Once we have it in here, so I'm just simply gonna call it. We have to set it, so that's gonna be the font size. And after that we have to update the selected shapes. That's right. So update selected shapes. Update selected shapes, and then font size needs to be passed. And by default what I've said that it is gonna be accepting any type in the sense it's just sort of gonna be accepting any property, key value pairs like stroke style or font size. Later I'm gonna be giving type to this as well. As for right now it is just simply accepting anything. And once it gets that, it just simply destructures that, and by default there's gonna be only one value, so that's fine. And this set font size function is going to be returned from here so that it can be used. And once this particular thing is done, so I'll be back here, and once I'm back here, I'll actually have to call appearance const appearance use canvas use shape appearance. This handles everything related to the appearance. What I will do, appearance dot set font size and data dot value. Having said that, it can actually be optional, so the value can be optional. So what's the issue? Number or undefined is not assignable. So if data dot value is actually present, only in that case this is gonna be happening, and this is done. So ideally, is this really done? Not really. This is just the starting, because we have to let's just copy paste the code, that would be better. So the same way we did earlier, the same thing we have to do right now. So stroke color picker, we actually have to copy this whole thing from here. Even before that I have to copy this, and the region behind it is pretty simple. That is, let me show exactly what it's gonna do. The font size picker, let's just simply import everything that's required. So I'm gonna be getting the selected IDs, I'm gonna get selected shapes and selected well, where is this coming from? I have to use selected okay, shape ID, selected the shapes. Alrighty. So what is the goal right now? The goal is that if there is a shape and that is already selected, so in that case I have to render the selected colors, customize the colors as per that particular shape on the properties panel. Okay, so this is the goal right now, and to do that probably here we can have the logic. The logic is pretty simple. That is, I can copy paste again, that's not really a big problem. We'll check the length and we'll check whether it is the what. First of all, by default we have this font size, that is gonna be sort of a global font size, and then if the length is greater than ultimately if there is a font selected shape, we have to override this font size. That's the only thing we have to do. So let's stroke width bigger. I'm actually gonna copy this one too as well. Let's just simply copy it and that is it. Okay, and the font size that actually got initially, that's gonna be global font size. Once I have the global font size, that's gonna be assigned to this, and that will be less. After that, if the selected shape IDs, do we have selected? Well, this should be selected shapes. Even I have to fix this thing in many places, but okay. Selected shapes IDs dot length. If that's triple equals to 1, that simply means a shape has been selected. If a shape has been selected, so what am I doing? Shapes. So that's gonna be selected shape. That is fine. Once we have the selected shape, so at that time, font size. So the font size is actually gonna be replaced with the font size of the selected shape. But the problem is that it's gonna be only possible when that's not equals to null. Selected shape dot font size. What is the problem? Okay, font size does not exist on type shape. Interesting. Type arrow, yeah, understandable. So on arrow type we don't really have the font size. So how can this be fixed right now? This is the font size picker, right? So I'm gonna return it. So ultimately we'll definitely be getting a shape, no doubt, and this is the not this is the selected shape, and once I actually get the selected shape, if selected shape dot type, if that's not equals to text, return from here. But before even that, selected shape is possibly undefined. So if there is a selected shape and this, then do this. So now it's clear that whatever I'm doing, that's gonna be for the selected shape. Font size is just overwritten if that is a selected shape. Once that is done, and then the remaining things are same. It's gonna be overall good. So this is the extra thing that I did, and in every place I need to do it again and again. So let's just simply copy it, and is there any notepad type something? We are already working on this anyway. What the hell? Well, this cannot be the best idea. So in that case, let's go to the Notion. Okay, let's paste it in here because this is gonna be used quite frequently, so that is why we are having it in here. Derive one more thing, derive let's get rid of this comment. So overall this is how we are gonna be going ahead. We'll see if something else is required to be done. And coming back to our main code, let's see if it actually works. So selected shape types, why did we need it? Selected shape types were required for checking I got it from here, width picker. So why we needed this? It was needed for returning, and we are already applying on it, so that's fine. So we don't really even need this. Probably we need it somewhere else, but I can get rid of this completely. Even selected shapes is not needed, selected is not needed. Okay, so this makes it quite simple, sort of. The second one is gonna be quite useful, so it's gonna be used like this. Let's see. Coming back to this, I wrote this small, medium, large, extra large. But this is okay, but as the font size changed, its height is not increasing or decreasing. Then when we start doing that, then it does. So what do we have to do? What do we have to do? We have to trigger it. How to trigger that? Ultimately, the size of the text, it needs to be updated as well, because at this point of time we are just simply setting the font size, and okay, so we are setting the font size here, we are updating the selected shapes, but this much is not really enough. When it comes to font size, so font size actually changes many things. So we actually have to calculate the height and width as well right here. In that case, whenever I'm resizing, so let me go to the hook again. In hook we have the interactions, inside that we have resize, and when we start resizing, that simply means on pointer move. So come on, it's kind of a big one. So resize shapes. Okay, so over here we are just simply resizing that, and as we are resizing that, so if type is not equals to, not this one, when are we handling the text section? Invalidate overlay, this is not it. Okay, text. Here we are handling the text. When we are handling text, so we have the font size. Once we have the font size, we are returning this resize the text shape. It gets the context, it gets the shape, it gets this, and the initial font, not this one, is group selection. Am I resizing here for sure? Yeah, I am resizing, but resizing is actually being done for two things, for the group selection and for a single shape selection. Okay, fine. Okay, so once we just even before that, initial font sizes, this is for the resizing. Resizing means the font is already, yeah, the shape is already there. That makes sense. So initial font sizes we are gonna be getting. So that simply means whenever I click on the shape, I get the initial font sizes. That is true, and then we can increase and decrease the font size. That is right. So once I got the initial font size, so I got my font size. Once I got my font size, I got the shape rect, and it depends whether it is a group selection or not, because if it is a group selection, so we'll be getting the scaled correct, otherwise we'll get the normal one, that is also fine. And after that, resize the texture shape. This is where we are resizing it, passing the context, passing the shape that is already selected, passing the rect that can be yeah, we are passing the initial bounds depending on the group selection or not, and then we are passing the initial font size. Okay, that's fine. Inside this, what we are doing, we are resizing it, and then we are returning the updated shape. So this is what we need to do there as well. But what is the use of context in here? Context is used for getting the text dimension. Okay, fine. So what we are actually doing, we have the updated shape. Once we have that, we have the initial bounds, and initial bounds means we got the minimum x and minimum value, and they are gonna be giving me the old height, as simple as that. Old height and old width, we can get both. Once we've done this, we are just simply getting the scale. Once we got the scale, we are initial font size multiplied by scale. So whatever the initial font size was, it's gonna be increased by the scale, and we are gonna be getting the max value of that. Minimum can be 1. Once that is done, we are getting the text dimensions. This actually calculates the width and height. So when it comes to dimension, well, I think forget about that, but ultimately it returns as the width and height, and once it actually returns that, we are just simply updating the values over here and returning it in here. So this is something that we have to do right here. The question is, we have to pass a few things. Context, shape, we know that. Rect can be calculated, so not really a big problem. The thing is that, what are we doing? Like selecting multiple shapes and then changing the colors, or directly? Okay, just a sec. We are just simply changing the style. So changing the style of those shapes is fine. And if initial bound can be of one shape and can be of other many as well. So if I am selecting multiple shapes, and when we start resizing, so we get the bounds of all of them, right? We don't need this in this particular case, because we are not sort of resizing, rather we already have a font size. With the help of that, we actually have to get the dimensions. So I have the font size, I have to just simply get the dimensions. For that thing, I have to pass the text, context, font size and font family. Once I pass this, I will get the dimensions, and that is it. Excuse me, I'm suffering a bit. Okay, so this should be fine. This part, we already have this particular function, so we can get it there. So if I actually come back to font size picker, and especially in this particular case, we should have selected shape in here. We have selected shape IDs. Now that can be one shape, there can be even many, and that is completely alright. If they support font size, I'm gonna be assigning it there. But before that, if a shape has type text, its font size is gonna be updated. So I need to have shapes here. We already have it, and we are already setting the shape. Coming back to this, we are doing it here. It's gonna be a bit different this time. The difference is gonna be, I'm getting the previous shapes dot this, the simple logic has been like this, but not from now onwards. If that is selected, that is fine. If that is selected, we have to do something, otherwise we have to return. Now at this point of time I will have another ternary operator, and this is gonna be if shape dot when it comes to this dimension part in here, it actually returns us the width and the height. So if we somehow get the dimension, so when it comes to getting the dimension, just a sec, so if that is equals to text, so we have to do this much, but apart from this particular thing, we already know that if that's equals to text, so we are just simply passing how do we know that that is the font size? That is interesting, because even if that is a text, we could be updating the value of the text like color and all. So how would I know that is the font size? So should we handle it manually or font size? It's easy to know that. I think it can be done like this. Just a sec. Suppose I have an object, so const obj, that's gonna be like this. And now if I wanna check that obj dot has on property a, so what will it return? True. And if we say b, it will return, well, yeah, false, as simple as that. For even b, it is gonna be returning true. So has on property, this is something we can call. So if that is equals to text, and then there's gonna be one more, that is text, fine. And if that's has a selected shape id, great. Now we have to check if the type is actually text, do this, otherwise directly update. Now here we have to do one more thing. If that is equals to type text, then shape dot has shape is what? Not shape actually. Updates dot updates that I actually got, that's actually an object, as on property, and that's gonna be font size. In that case do this, otherwise do this again, but this is gonna be different. Again I'm making it complicated. Hopefully in future I'll be making keeping it simple. But updates has on property font size. If there is a font size in that, then we have to update it in this particular section, and that would be get text dimensions. Now we have to pass the context, we have to pass text that will be from the shape size, we have to pass the font size, that's gonna be okay, we have to pass font size, and we have to pass font family. Okay, now context, text, all these things. So let's see the text is actually gonna be coming from shape, so we can actually destructure shape right here. At the end of the day, shape contains many things, and whatever it needs it can get from here. So it wouldn't be bad if I just destructure the shape, that's fine. And apart from destructuring the shape, I'm gonna be destructuring the updates. and that updates contains the font size, new font size. The only thing that I'm missing, that is the context, and context is something that I'll be getting directly in here. So it will be getting cdx html. Now which context? It is going to be context of will I get the context? HTML canvas. We have it in here, that is good. And this needs to be ctx. And now we need to check whether the context actually exists or not. But in that case, I'll actually have to pass it. So inside canvas.tsx, I have this. Do I have the context in here? I don't. So why not pass it? So let's pass this overlay canvas ref that's gonna be an object. HTML canvas element, or it can even be null. When we know that this can be null, so whenever I'm calling it in here, if I don't have canvas ref, in that case return, and if I actually have that, then const ctx is gonna be canvas ref.current.get context to. We got the context is gonna be here. So now the text shape is being updated. I don't know whether I myself, okay, it's gonna be easy to understand even in future. I just hope so. So this is it. Now let's check this thing out. Reload the page. Try writing something. Medium, large, extra large, small. It doesn't have any effect. Well, then the logic is not running as expected. It's not even being selected for some reason. Crazy. Setting the font size, forget about setting the font size. Whenever we are calling it normally, then it's problematic. Why is that so? First of all, what we did, we checked whether it has the selected shape ID. If it has the selected shape ID, then return the shape. If it has the selected shape ID, then this part will be running, otherwise this will run. That's fine. If it actually has the selected shape ID, check if the type is actually text. If the type is actually text, then if the type is a text, then this part runs. Otherwise, then this part runs. Otherwise, this runs. So the type was text, so we ran this. Otherwise, we ran this, where we updated the values. Okay. And lastly, updates if it wasn't equals to text. Let's see others are working or not. Nothing seems to be working. Interesting. That simply means this whole thing is not running, and if this thing is not running, that means this new object is not being created, and if it is not being created, means we need to have canvas ref in here. Will it work in that case? Okay, if it is still not working, then we need to have get text dimensions in here, and yeah, that is it. No, That's interesting. Okay, so if, as this is the callback, so I am sure that this is not being called. CLG callback is being called. Let's come back here. So callback is not really being called as expected, and if this is not being called, how about keeping it at the top? Callback is being called, that simply means we don't have the canvas ref. Interesting. CLG canvas ref. Canvas ref is undefined. Wow. Why? The canvas ref is actually undefined. Turns out it needs to be sent at 9 places. Whenever we are calling use shape appearance, I have to pass the canvas font size picker. Now font size picker, where is this actually being used? What is this anyway? Font size picker is nothing but it is a picker, that simply means component, TSX. So in that case, a component needs to be passed. Okay, fine. Canvas.context, not this one. Properties panel, we have font tools. The first way is that passing it it's gonna be problematic. In that case, we have to pass the same canvas ref everywhere. Another way, think of it. Canvas.tsx, we have this, we have all of this, but at the end of the day, scene is here, overlay canvas ref. Now this actually needs to be passed to properties panel. When passing to properties panel, I need to pass in them as well. And the good thing is that we have to pass only one. So when it comes to only one, which one that's gonna be? Let's pass scene canvas ref. Overlay is mainly for the demo, like preview, and when we are actually adding the text that is being added on the scene layer. So scene canvas ref, it actually needs to be passed here. And once this is done, scene canvas ref object HTML canvas element, or it can be null. Once done, scene canvas ref, it actually needs to be passed in all of them. Why? Because we are using appearance in all of them. Appearance is being used, and if it is being used, it needs that. As simple as that. Let's see. So this equals to this. Now of course it doesn't support that, so for that thing Why isn't the error going away? We'll see why it's happening, but property is this. Forget about this one now. But of course I need to pass it in here, right? What is the issue? Bro, canvas in ref object or null is not assignable to intrinsic ref object and this, so this is not assignable to that, especially when this is sort of like this scene ref, scene canvas ref. Okay, it needs to be destructured. Whenever we are passing any ref, we need to destructure that load. Anyway, how can we destructure it? Let's go to the canvas ref. Before even that, page.tsx, then I'm actually passing it in here. This is wrong way to do that. Okay, fine. Now is this okay? Okay, fine. It's gonna be used later, but it's good if I pass it in here, and again I need to pass the max range as well. Text align bigger. Style is gonna be what? Text style, text align. Value can be a number as well as a string. Interesting. What to do, what to do, what to do. It can be number or it can be this, depending on the need, the value. Okay. I'll keep that as a string value now onwards. Now I need to convert it to a number every time. That's okay. Let's keep the values in all. Label is gonna be later. I may be changing the font families. As for right now, they are the Arial, Helvetica, and Sans Serif. We'll see how they are gonna be looking like. So what do we have to do now? I was doing something, right? I forgot what I was doing. Now at least this is changing. किधर जाऊँ मैं? Okay, so we are getting the shape. Earlier we were doing the same thing, and text dimensions, it only returns at the width and the height, and it actually takes these things. Okay, I'm missing something in here. What is that missing thing? We want to change the stroke. Text is gonna be that only. Height and width are changing, just font size is not decreasing. So passing the updates is okay here. I have to pass the updates here as well. I'm passing the update here so that I can get the right width and height. I'm passing the update here so that I can actually change the font size. Here we are, everybody. We've done it. That's what we wanted to do, didn't we? So yeah, it is good. I mean, not that bad either. Even here as well. If I go to extra large, looks like 100 width. Extra large looks like this, large this much, medium this much, and the same way it's in our case as well, as simple as that. So yeah, congratulations, we were done it. Okay, so we are able to change this. We are not able to change the font family, so we have to still one more thing. If I click on it and if one of them is selected, so that should be highlighted, but that's not highlighted yet. So in that case something is up, or it's on, it's every side. Okay, that's fine. So the problem is not there, the problem inside this property item that I have. Property item, what is up with you? Data.active, I'm passing it everywhere. Chick. Here we are. Features, header. This time let's explore this properties panel here. We have all of it, and the thing is that I'm able to change the things, but that's not active. Why? It is active, and if it is active then BG like this. Properties panel, what is up? At least this thing is working. Only these are problematic things. So problem is with what? भाई मैंने टू किया इधर. Do you get the idea? Is CN not working? It is not able to combine it and all. It happened with me in past. I'm not sure whether it's actually working or not, because if I'm making it true, then the BG read 200. Okay, got this particular thing needs to be removed if I'm not wrong. Yeah, as expected. So this is the problem. Now it is fine. Yeah, I was just being confused exactly what's happening in here. So now this one has this color, this one has this, I mean style. Okay, great, good job. What is the next thing, bro? Ouch. The next is this edges section, and this will only be applied for the this rectangle for now, because I don't know how to do it for the diamond because I made diamond using lines, so probably in future we'll be working on it. As for right now, let's just simply work on it for rectangles, and later we'll see. Okay. Okay, so the next thing that we are gonna be doing in here, that is working on the edges. So first of all, we have to render the edges only for what? The edges, they need to be rendered only for the rectangles. First of all, this thing. So when I click on it, I should be getting the edges, otherwise I should not be getting the edges. First of all, this thing. So let's go to the properties panel. Here we have edges picker over here, and first of all, property range slider edge picker. Let's do it in here. So what do we have to do, bro? It's pretty simple. That is selected tool, and that's gonna be used the selected tool. First of all, we have to check which tool is selected. If selected tool is not equals to a rectangle, in that case I have to return it. First of all, this particular thing. Is that really so? Not really. Even if, or if that is okay. So I'm getting edges, and here I do not. Great, but there comes a problem. That is, okay, you are doing it, but what if when that is equals to select, then so if that becomes to select, it will return from here. So let me check others as well. How am I handling this thing in there? So we have stroke width. If the type is equals to text, do this. Okay, how about the stroke style? Forget about opacity. Let's focus on stroke color. Stroke color is visible, background color, and we had a check like this. So if selected tool is arrow and all, in that case we had to return. So should we have the same thing there as well? So the thing is that we were returning it. What were we returning? We were returning background color picker when selected tool was arrow, text, line, free draw. At that time it doesn't have to be drawn. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have to be shown. And if it is equals to select, it still needs to be shown, right? So we can do one thing. Back to our logic in here. If selected till is equals to text, what am I talking about? Yeah, here. So we are talking about this edge here, right? So if the selected tool is equals to a rectangle, then it should be visible. Or there could be one more possibility, and that is if selected tool is actually triple equals to select only. But there is a problem. But if that happens, it returns. Sorry, just the opposite logic it should be. And so if selected tool is not equals to rectangle and not equals to select, it should be our problem. If selected tool is not equals to rectangle, okay, and if okay, that's right, and it's not equals to select, both the situations, in that case it is gonna be returning. So if selected tool is arrow, so it will be true, 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 true. If it is actually a rectangle, so true, and not equals to rectangle. So if it is rectangle, it will become, if it is actually equals to rectangle, so this will be true, I mean false. This will also be false, then this will never run. If it is equals to select, so अरे नहीं भाई, if that is equals to rectangle, so true, अरे भाई क्या कर रहा मैं, just a sec. Suppose the selected tool is actually rectangle, that simply means this will become false, this will become false, this will never run. If that is equals to select, so this will be false, this will already be false because yeah, so done. Arrow, this will be true, this will be true, this will run. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Whew. So this particular thing is done. Let's see it in action. So we, अरे भाई क्या दिक्कत है, हाँ reload the page, something was up or what? Okay, that's fine. Even when I double click, that should appear, so we have to take care of this, because whenever I double click, it actually appears here. So okay, we'll be focusing on that. Coming back to this one, I'm getting the edge, I'm not getting the edge. Having said that, if I draw a few things here, okay, fine. Now if I click on this, I'm getting the edge. If I click on this, I'm still getting the edge. So this is something we have to still work on. But overall, getting the edge, not 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 getting the edge, and then that's of course the image. So that is good. Apart from this particular thing, when I click down and when there is this text cursor, I still have to show that. So we have to work on this particular part as well. So but before even working on this, let's fix it. So whenever I double click, so I started editing, at that time it just simply disappears. So when I double click, already double clicking means it switches back to select. Great, it should not switch it back to select. It does switch it back to select, but we still have to render this as long as I have text editing state. So let's work on this as well. By slowly the files are increasing and it's not even half completed yet. There's a lot that needs to be done on this project. Okay, never mind. So properties panel, we have it here, and what we are saying here, that if selected tool is equals to select or this, then return. One thing I have to do, that is, bro, don't return if that's equals to select, because I have to have my extra logic there. So now even if that is equals to select, this is visible. Great, but yet many things need to be done. So what's next? The next thing is that now I have to go to color picker. Just a sec, what am I supposed to be doing now? Yeah, so we have to render them if text editing state is there. I clicked on this because text editing state is there, so all these things are visible, right? So whatever I have in front of me, so normally panning nothing happens, right? So what I actually have to do, that if that is equals to that, if that's equals to select, so it should not be visible, but this is one logic. And selected shape ID's dot length should be 0. So it should be, if the selected shape ID is 0, then it disappears. That's fine. And one more end here. So when the selected shape ID's length is 0, then it should not be visible. When these conditions are there, then it should not be visible. And when there's no text editing state, it should not be visible. But if there is text editing state, in that case it should be visible. Use the text editing state. And what should be the logic? If I have the text editing state, I want it to be rendered. Right. So ultimately what I want, that whatever I have, if I don't have text editing state, only then this whole logic should run. If I don't have text editing state, then this should be running, and then only it can be true, because if I have my text editing state, so it will be false. False and true will still be false, so this will not run. So if I don't have my text editing state, run this, no problem as such. Yeah, here we are. We did this, didn't we? So now if I just double click anywhere, let's delete all these things. So now if I double click, this appears, and again we cannot. Such a we still have to work on it, yaar. Second thing, what is that? As you write, you should be able to change. Now why are we getting this stroke width and stroke height? Why are we getting that? I don't know. We have to remove them, right? Okay, that's just the logic part. When we select, that gets removed. By default that doesn't get removed, so I can work on that. Having said that, in here we are actually able to change it on the go. Did you get what it means? This simply means, but before even that, let me go to the font, not even font tools. What is extra here. Stroke width, stroke height, edges, these three things we are, even background, layers are fine, and there are two types of layers. Okay, that's okay. So background, stroke and style. Background color picker, what I want, that is if I have the text editing state, return what's gonna be the logic? The logic is simple, that if I have text editing state, you have to return, as simple as that. And the same logic needs to be for all. Let's see. Now I'm still getting that. Okay. Background, stroke style. What are we working on? We are working on the background. We are still getting the background. So if I have the text editing state and selected tool is either one of these, in that case we have to return. What are we doing here? Selected tool can never be text now. It can be actually text as well, and the selected tool can actually be selected tool. Selected tool, it can actually be selected as well. It doesn't really matter. If any one of these situations are true, so it should not be visible. It is visible here, that's great. But when it comes to this, yeah, that is okay. We'll fix it. So this particular logic, I don't even know. Later I will refactor the things. It's not like we will have this kind of code that is actually not understandable at all. So we'll refactor everything. Of course, with the help of AI, I'll be refactoring the stuff. I'm gonna be writing the code the way I can write, the best way I can write. Then I'll refactor the code with the help of AI, so that it looks better. Right now it just simply works, but even when somebody comes and sees this, it will be hard for that person to understand. So we'll refactor it. So this particular thing is done, and this is the logic that we have. Stroke color picker, let it be here. Then we have stroke width. So if it is triple equals to select, we have to return it, or text is fine. Or selected tool, if that's triple equals to select as well, even then return it, provided there is text editing state. So text editing state plus this, then only do this. Okay, so let's get the text editing state. Done. So what I want to say here, that bro, that is okay. If I have the text editing state, only then you have to run. If I have the text editing state, then if the selected tool is text or the select itself, return it from here. If it is not, show it there. What is this? Stroke. Same logic is gonna be for this as well. Hide for text tool. Okay, let's get rid of this. Bhai rehne de. Rendering the stroke style picker conditionally. So this is done. We have to have text fonts, whatever. Fonts to text editing state, and that's gonna be equals to use. Alrighty, this should be fine. Now let's try this thing out. Double clicked, we have these things. Edges, special cache. I don't need to have edges, right? Yeah. So let's get this thing done for that as well. So edges. What is this logic? If a selected tool is equal to this, return. I'll say, bro, you have to return. That is good, but just one more condition. What is that? Use text. We have the text editing state. So what I want to say that this edge, it needs to disappear when I have text editing state. Means what? अरे भाई क्या कर रहा मैं? Where was I here? Let's understand the logic first of all. I'm not sure this is right. So if I have the text editing state, okay, at that time it should be running. Apart from this particular thing, if selected tool is not equals to rectangle, it should return. Suppose I have text editing state, and if I have the text editing state, it should not appear. It will still be appearing because selected tool is going to be equals to select, and hence it is gonna be false, true, false. It will become false. Okay. So what it is saying that if selected tool is not equals to rectangle, and if selected tool is not equals to select, return this. If it is equals to rectangle, if it is equals to select, don't return this. So ultimately when the tool is rectangle and select, I want it to be rendered. Okay. But when text editing is there, I don't want it to be rendered. So what I'm saying, if text editing state is there and the tool is actually a rectangle, it should not be rendering. So as long as this is true, it should never be rendering it. The another thing is that if it is actually equals to rectangle, if it is false, so if it is not there, and if it equals to rectangle, I want it to be rendered, so it should be OR. Yeah. So these are the two conditions we have. First one is text editing state, so either this happens or this happens. So if I have it true, so it will be running. If it is false and any one of these conditions are true, then it will still be running, and this is how it will be done. And if both are false, there is no text editing state, and suppose the selected tool is arrow, then this part will be running, and if selected tool is rectangle, then false, and it will become what? This is what? This is a range slider, edge picker, right? So edge picker should be for rectangle only. So if selected tool is not equals to rectangle, return, and if it is equals to rectangle, then it will be false. When it becomes false, it will not run, and then this particular part will be running. Seems to be all right. Let's see. We have this. We are getting the edges here. Well, this is even not the part we have to worry about. Let's check this thing out. Let's click on text. When we click on that, this logic is going to kill me. When we click, then okay, it disappears. But when I directly click on the text, at that time I'm getting this. So we have to get rid of it, right? So the logic that I just wrote, there's something missing there. Okay. When we click, that is fine, it works great. Earlier it was working great, then I messed it up. So if I go to stroke color picker, so this is the logic. Where is the logic? Okay, background color picker, we have it here. So what I'm saying, that if text editing state exists, I don't have to show, and if any one of these things exists, then I don't have to show. So it should be actually or really or. So if the text editing state exists, run this. If selected tool is equals to arrow, run this. Return, 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 return. Makes sense. If selected tool is select return, but it will be true. But if it is false, if selected tool is equals to select, then we have to do what? We don't have to return render it. That is okay. So we'll be returning from here. But if text editing exists, then still we are gonna be returning from here. Okay, this seems to be alright. Let's see. So at least we are not getting the background color now anymore, and we are almost getting everything needed. Just these two things I have to remove here from here. So what it is saying, that if text editing is, exists, return by I don't want background color, then if arrow return, text return, line return, feeder return, and even when it is equals to select, that simply means nothing is visible there. So at that time return as well. So this is the logic. This is the tool based logic, and this is the selected shape based logic. So we have two types of conditions to just simply render the same thing. That is why it just gets a bit tricky, but again this is gonna be trickier. Don't expect it to be simple. So this is done. Then the color, background color is done. Stroke color, that still needs to be there, and we are gonna be going with this. And if text editing exists, return it. If selected tool triple equals to select, text return, and then return. I think same thing needs to be done. I used and here, it should be or here. Now if I just try writing something, we are able to write, we are getting the right options. If I try text, we are getting the right options. Pencil, the right options. Arrow, right options. Even for arrow I need to have a few things like the left arrow, right arrow. We'll be working on it later, but even that is something yet to be done. But overall this is fine. Yeah, great, good to have done this much. Okay, what is the next thing that we have to focus on? First of all, we fixed this part, and the second thing is that as this part got fixed, so come on, as I fixed this part and we are writing here now, when as I change the things, it should be increasing and decreasing. So I have this text area because I have text editing state, and now when I change it, so the text editing state should actually be changing. That is fine. So we have to change the text editing state whenever this is changed. So okay, fine. So text editing state should be changing when that actually exists, right? Yeah, that is also right. So whenever we are just come back to this inside hooks appearance, over here we have the responsibility, like we are changing the font size, stroke style, ultimately we are changing all these things. And this is the updater. We have the text editing state here, or don't we have that? We don't have that. Okay, good job. So let me get the text editing state here as well. So const text editing state, and that's gonna be use text editing state. state, just like this. Once we need to have set a text editing state, and that's gonna be used by set तो पहले से था. That's done. Not done yet. Done. This should be use text editing state. This is fine. Now what we have to do, that stroke color cannot be for the text. Forget about this. Background color, no, stroke color can be for the text. So set property color and update selected shape. So this is for the selected shape, and that is fine. The next thing that we have to do, that is if I have the text editing state, if text editing state exists, in that case we have to update that. So set text editing set text editing state, and I'm gonna be getting the previous value. Once we have the previous value, we have to return an object and dot previous value and stroke color. What is the problem? Bhai, any problem? No problem. What is this previous? Text editing state. This is text editing state. Just a minute. Text editing state. Text editing state. What is this? This is an object. An object. Let's go to the slice, and that's gonna be text editing slice. By default, the value can even be null. Fine. In that case, so if I just return an object by destructuring this, what is the problem? Undefined. Okay. Undefined is not assignable to type number. Types of property X are incompatible. So bhai, undefined is not assignable. Yeah, by default there's gonna be no X and Y. Okay, so let's make X and Y both optional. If I actually make these two optional here, so text editing state will have only this much. How about when we actually start editing? So if I actually go to text, let's go to the hookup, and inside that use text editing. When I start editing, so on pointer down, where is that? अरे कहाँ गया भाई? ये रहा. So point dot x and point dot y, we have it here. So whenever we double click, we get starting points, I mean x and y. So if I actually get x and y there, so okay, and most of the time I'll have it anyhow. Once I actually have it, if text editing state exists and Okay, fine. We have to return an object. Types of property x are incompatible. So number or undefined is not assignable to type number. That is okay. Type undefined is not assignable to number. Type angle number is to cooler background color this. Okay, fine. So all these things is not assignable to text editing or null. Could it be that the value of previous can actually be null? But if I have the previous value, what am I doing? This is better. So it was expecting that like if it did not exist, then I'm just simply returning it. So if previous value does not exist, I'm just simply gonna be returning that same value. That simply means if null, so I'm gonna be returning null. If that definitely exists, then I'm gonna be doing this. And apart from this particular thing, as I'm changing the stroke color, so stroke color is gonna be changed. Any problem? No problem. Great job. So background color is gonna be there, not gonna be there. Stroke not, style is not, font size is definitely gonna be there. So let's see. I started typing. Now I am able to change the background color on the go. Even we are able to resize it on the go. I can come back to this, I can resize it, and that's what we wanted, didn't we? And then of course later we can do whatever we want. It's completely up to us. Okay, whatever, done. If you make it empty, it's gonna be back to the previous value, and that is okay. As of right now, this is the logic that we have. And if you want to delete, just simply delete it like this. That's gonna be completely okay. Okay, what's the next feature? What time is it? 10:30. 1:54. Let me take a break for 10 minutes or something. After that I'll be back and we'll work on the remaining features. Now it's not really difficult, especially when I worked on these things. Now my mind was like it had too much pressure on, to be honest, especially when it comes to actually implementing the core features. This designing and all, these are normal things, like drawing it, and after drawing it, selecting it, after selecting it, having these bounds around that, selecting the area, and when even you click outside, you are able to resize, you are able to move all these things, you are able to multiple resize. Doing all these things, I actually struggled a lot. I had to spend hours and hours just reading whatever the AI was saying and then just simply understanding that. So once these things are done, now there's easy peasy things, so we can easily get them done, right? Just this designing part. Anyway, it was amazing. I'm gonna be catching up after 10 minutes or something. Until then, bye bye, and I'm gonna be catching up soon.